most interesting room in the world with a fucking stuffed tiger in the background, because we're just awesome like that.
President Nixon, Mr. Vice President, Governor, Congressman Thomas, Senator Wiley, Congressman Miller, Mr. Webb, Mr. Bell, scientists, distinguished guests, and ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your President having made me an honorary visiting professor, and I will assure you that my first lecture will be very brief. I am delighted to be here, and I'm particularly delighted to be here on this occasion. We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city noted for progress, in a state noted for strength, and we stand in need of all three. We meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance. Despite the striking fact that most of the scientists that the world has ever known are alive and working today, despite the fact that this nation of scientific manpower is doubling every 12 years in a rate of growth more than 3 times that of our population as a whole, despite that, the vast stretches of the unknown and the unanswered and the unfinished still far outstrip our collective comprehension. No man can fully grasp how far and how fast we have come. But condense, if you will, the 50,000 years of man's recorded history in a time span of about half a century. In these terms, we know very little about the first 40 years, except at the end of them, and then man had learned to use the skin of animals and hunt. Then about 10 years ago, under this standard, man emerged from his cave to construct other kinds of shelters. Only 5 years ago, man learned to write, to use a clock and wheel. Christianity began less than 2 years ago. The printing press came this year. And then less than 2 months ago, during this whole 50-year span of human history, the steam engine provided a new source of power. Newton explored the meaning of gravity. Last month, electric lights and telephones and automobiles and airplanes became available. Only last week did we develop penicillin and television and nuclear power. And now, if America's new spacecraft succeeds in reaching Venus, we will have literally reached the stars before midnight tonight. This is a breathtaking pace, and such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. New ignorance, new problems, new dangers. Surely the opening vistas of space promise high costs and hardships, as well as high reward. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay where we are a little longer, rest, to wait. But this city of Houston, this state of Texas, this country of the United States was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. This country was conquered by those who move forward, and so will space. William Bradford, speaking in 1630 of the founding of the Plymouth Bay Colony, said that all great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulty, and both must be enterprised and overcome with ample courage. If this capsule history of our fathers teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we first wave of nuclear power. And this generation does not intend to flounder in the backwater of the coming age of space. We need to be a part of it. We need to lead it. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon, and the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it coming by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace. We have vowed that we shall not see space filled with weapons of mass destruction, but with instruments of knowledge and understanding. Yet the vows of this nation can only be fulfilled if we in this nation are first, and therefore we intend to be first. In short, our leadership in science and industry, our hopes for peace and security, our obligations to ourselves as well as others, all require us to make this effort, to solve these mysteries, to solve them for the good of all men, and to become the world's leading spacefaring nation. We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained and new rights to be won, and they must be won and used for the progress of all people.
The song is called We Intend to Be First.
Is that what you named it?
Yeah.
Alright. I'm good with that. I was gonna go with that, or Some Would Have Us Stay. Because that was such a weird line.
Some would have us stay.
Yeah, that's why I started repeating it into the mic, because I'm like, because he said,
man,
some
that's
would
good.
have us stay.
That's
And I'm
good.
like, what?
Man, that's good.
Such a weird line.
Some would have us stay.
Some would have us stay.